Hello everybody, welcome back. It's JudiciousFire, and I am here with Pumpkin Duke, a classic in the game of Castle Clash. Going to look at Pumpkin Duke. We're going to see what he's capable of doing in today's game. It's a lot of ways that our Pumpkin Duke has changed over the years. We're going to talk about some of those. This is more than a build video. This is a little bit of a character analysis. Pumpkin Duke is such an essential hero. He's such a integral hero when it comes to making progress, especially in things like dungeons. He is absolutely required in certain game modes. Currently, Archdemon would be one of them. Pumpkin Duke is a multifaceted hero, and we're going to have to look at him in a variety of ways. If I were starting the game over again today, and I've often thought of that scenario, when I'm making these kinds of videos and how essential or relevant the hero is. I believe that the number one hero, my first hero, that I would try to acquire and that I would level up would be Pumpkin Duke. You will use Pumpkin Duke often, always, during the clearing of new stages and game modes in Castle Clash. Now, once you've gotten through absolutely everything in the game and you've beaten everything, well, then you're going to use Pumpkin Duke less and less. I'm at a point where I'm using Pumpkin Duke really for two different things. Sometimes, one, I use him to augment a certain game mode. I want to increase our speed and our attack abilities. It's a rarity. And I also use Pumpkin Duke every single time in Archdemon. And that is primarily how my Pumpkin Duke has been built. This is not necessarily the best build for Pumpkin Duke in a general game sense. This is best for the way I use him, which is almost always just Archdemon. We see Pumpkin Duke's skill. This is what makes him a remarkable hero, unlike any other in the game. Somewhat irreplaceable. They have yet to replace this man with anybody who can do what he does. He gives your whole team. In fact, he'll give everybody on the board. So if you're running like a lava aisle, and you've got 20 different heroes out there with you and your 3 teammates, he will buff everybody. He's going to increase their attack, so they get stronger, do more damage. Attack rate, they will attack more often, more quickly. And the movement speed, so they'll move from point A to point B at a faster rate of speed. All allies this applies to. It's also global. So your hero can be in one corner of the board, Pumpkin Duke can be in another. His effect will affect everybody on the board simultaneously. It increases all those things by 64%. Now that's huge. It lasts 8 seconds. His gaining immunity to stun after he activates his skill, that's not an issue. It's the number one sentence that's a really big deal. Okay, so for 8 seconds, he buffs your team to beast mode. Pumpkin Duke has no skill cooldown. Nearly every hero in this game has a cooldown to their skill, a time when their skill is not activating. Pumpkin Duke does not have that limitation. We use a term in Castle Clash called stacking, and stacking basically means to add on top of one another. Pumpkin Duke is able to stack his skill. So when his skill activates, everybody gets all these great buffs and boosts and bonuses, and he is able to activate his skill another time while skill activation 1 is still operating. So now all of a sudden, the bonuses that your heroes were getting, there's another layer of bonuses. He is able to continue to stack his skill atop itself until he reaches maximum speed. And our heroes do have a max. He is able to reach max speed, depending on the build, between 2 and, let's say, 4 stacks, today's Pumpkin Duke. So by the time those seconds have gone by, and those skills have added or stacked on top of one another, your heroes are going to be moving at max speed, max attack rate, and max attack damage. In order to get him to stack his skill as quickly as possible and get all of our heroes, including himself, up to max ability as quickly as we can, we want to infuse him with as much energy as possible. We want to up his energy regain rate. This way, when he gains more energy in battle, it'll go at a faster rate of speed, and he'll be able to continue to stack his skill and add up and get to max stacks as quickly as possible. This is achieved with the regen. Regen is giving him 180%, 170% increase in the energy that he produces during his energy process. That's huge. Currently, in terms of energy boost, regen is your number one pick when taken to level 10. Empower also does the same, but does so in a slightly different way. So if you're trying to gain a lot of energy with your Pumpkin Duke against an enemy that is stationary, and Pumpkin Duke's able to keep hitting them, regen is your number one talent. If you want to give Pumpkin Duke a lot of energy, and he's moving around from target to target, then Empower would be a great choice. So stationary, regenerate, moving around from target to target, Empower. You can do a combination of these with the talent and insignia. I have a skin on PD. I'm rocking no skins for like the next week or two, just doing it old school. His second talent, I always keep that free. It's a floating talent. I don't take it to full max level. Right now I'm running a Flame Guard on him. I'm doing that for a specific game mode. It is not something I would necessarily recommend on the man. This is why I'm not taking it to max. But in one game mode, I'm trying to augment it by giving my heroes all of these boosts. The only way to keep him alive in that game mode is with a Flame Guard. I have run in that second slot Empower. I have run Sacred Light, which was invaluable in keeping Pumpkin Duke alive through the Forgotten Trials. Sacred Light all the way. He will not go as fast, he will not stack as quickly, but he'll be alive. So, some defensive stuff. You can put a Favors talent in there, like one of the Warden Favors talents. You can put a Sunder. It really depends on how you're going to want to run your Pumpkin Duke. So we've got about several different talents. A Revitalize for instant skill activation. Great, especially for player versus player game modes where there's a short board and a short period of time between your heroes engaging with the enemy. Instant skill activation. So there's a number of talents that go very well with the guy. But in something like an Archdemon with a stationary target, max energy is going to be gained through a regen 10. With his crests, can run a whole bunch of different crests. All the ones that I just mentioned as talents can be crested as well. Insignias, whatever you want to call them. I have a Brawler 10 on him right now just to up his attack in the game mode that I was just using him in. And I want to show you his base attack. It's through the roof. So it's like 80,000. He's my strongest hero in terms of attack at all 110 slots, or 85 heroes that are in the game. Strongest hero. He has this. You can do the Sunder. You can do the Sacred Light. You can do Empower. You can do Flame Guard. You can do Revite. You can do a whole bunch of different stuff. You can do something related to dodge. If you have dodge on your PD, you can increase that. Great thing. Equipment. Okay, they just came out with Hyper Strength. Hyper Strength is a remarkable enchantment, but it is not one that I would personally recommend on a whole bunch of different heroes. It is designed specifically for heroes that can benefit from it. There aren't many heroes that can truly benefit from this particular enchantment. This enchantment is going to give you an attack boost. That's great. Now, many heroes can benefit from that. But the second part, your energy regain rate. Just like the regen, you're going to gain energy at a greater rate of speed. Many heroes, in fact, almost all of them, have a cooldown in their skill. They will get to full energy and they'll just sit there, energy bar full, for 2-3 seconds until finally their skill's allowed to activate again. And you will find that if you're running hyper strength on many heroes. It's too much energy. They can't use it. So a hero without a cooldown can use it really well. Or option B, you're not interested in the energy regain at all, and you just want that big 65% attack boost. Well, then you could put it on any hero that you want to do some real max damage, like a bogeyman, for example. I'm trying to use both attack and the energy regain rate. For PD, in something like an Archdemon or a boss battle against stationary object where you keep hitting and hitting, hyper strength is his number one by leaps and bounds. If you want a general use PD that's going to stay alive and that's going to really flourish as a hero and it can be relied upon, I would go with something that's going to be defensive, like a healing ritual or maybe a holy conviction. Okay, that'll keep PD alive a lot better. Let's go into equipment. I run him for Archdemon. That's where I am in the game, where I'm really just using him for that. The more attack, Archdemon is changing. Okay, the dynamics are changing, but classic, more attack the better. That's starting to change, and that's a whole nother video. Okay, a different dimension of Archdemon these days, but I'm running all attack on the man, and that's how he's able to get the bonuses on his enchantment up to level 7 and everything. If you want, and I think it would be a better Pumpkin Duke, I would put dodge on your Pumpkin Duke. Pumpkin Duke could then be used in nearly every game mode in Castle Clash, and probably used very successfully. Not necessarily a guy up in front, but a supporter with a good team that can help protect him. A dodge PD with maybe a blade dance, maybe a nimble, maybe one of the new pets that also helps to increase dodge. You would have a PD that doesn't get hit by most heroes and that's able to go the full battle and really help you out. So attack, if you're, kind of using them for just specific things like I am, or dodge would be a better general build and a healthier PD. There's no reason for this man to get hit. Nothing about his skill or ability is reliant on the fact that he is actually taking damage or under attack in some way. Here we go. Let's take a look at this man's attack. This is his base attack. This is on which talents that cause an attack bonus or the attack damage that we do against a hero, this is the number on which it's based. It's then quantified using this number. So we have ourselves he's at 80,000 base attack. 80,000 base attack. It's unbelievable. Now you can see how low his health is. So this is a guy, pardon me. Got my little man here. This is Merlin. He was crying, saying, "Where's bro?" We've got 80,000 base attack. And then a low health. This is an attack man. And he's got a life that gets snuffed out like a candle. And here we can see Pumpkin Duke's skin effects. This is a Pumpkin Duke who's reached the 20 out of 20 level. And because he has only one skin, either way I choose, it's going to be the total attribute bonuses. You do not have to use the skin of your hero in order to receive those attribute bonuses. If you're running no skin at all, you still get all those. So however I want him right now, normal, I'm still getting all those pluses. Okay, so he's getting 1610. These are the biggies. 1610 to his base attack, that 80,000. It would have been like 70. Not 78.4 if it had not been for this skin. It's getting a little bit of accuracy. It's getting a heck of a dodge boost, 1520. just from this skin alone. A little bit of crit and nominal health bonus, a little bit of resist. It's really that dodge and that attack that seem to be the real biggies. I'd like to show you some gameplay footage. This is let's do maybe like the tail end, like the last minute and a half of one of our most recent Archdemons. And PD, of all the heroes, PD is my number one, and he is the most important. Without him, none of this would happen. Okay, we can see the result of the Archdemon run using Pumpkin Duke as our star. All the other heroes certainly play a big part in that production, but the star of the show is going to be PD. Okay, he's up front in the center. He's main stage. So PD absolutely integral in that particular game mode. I'd like to just showcase PD in one last thing. I'm going to run a couple of dungeons. This is an attack PD, not a dodge PD. So I'm not going to be running the Insane 8 because he's just going to get killed. Okay, he's not designed for that. My PD is not designed for that. See my other videos where I smash it using pretty much every other hero. I will run the prior dungeons. And these are the dungeons where you would be using Pumpkin Duke. So back to the thing. If I'm going to upgrade any hero and I start it all over again in Castle Clash, number one is Pumpkin Duke because I got to make dungeon progress. Our heroes are locked in their upgrade based on the number of flames that we have acquired in the dungeons. It's the only real lock in this game where they actually say, hey, you can't, even if you have the resources, you can't upgrade because you don't have the number of flames. You got to break that lock. You got to acquire flames in the dungeons. So it should be your number one priority as a new player. Forget everything else in this game. Always keep your buildings building. Always keep them running. Just make a 5-person team. Good dungeon team. Start with PD. We're going to run some dungeons. I put 5 other guys out here. They're all immune to stun. All right. Here's 5. Let's freeze this. Everybody, and this. No troops, just the team. You see how stun is no longer an option. Total stun immunity. PD doesn't have the second he drops, but he gains it right away. Okay, and the way I have him running with all that dodge and all that stuff and a couple of teammates around him, he's not getting stunned up. He's able to activate pretty quickly. Okay, let's do 6. I did a video specifically on 6 if you're having trouble with it. You have to drop heroes all the way around, like in a clock. And that's the only way you're going to be able to smash up everything before you make real contact with the Archdemons on the inside. You have heroes that also do global base damage. You can use those as well. But typically, you just drop heroes all the way around. What do I want to do? Let's freeze. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's drop all these guys over here, but PD right here. And a boost. Okay, PD activated. Everybody gets a boost. Now we'll lose some heroes probably. Oh, look at that. Look at how we cleared that. Man, it's no problem. Mahatma will kill those Archdemons if she's properly buffed by Pumpkin Duke. You can make a team just to do that, to go Archdemon Slaying. None of this would be possible without PD. Heroes will be plugging along so slow that they probably end up taking a lot more damage and would have a little bit more of a difficult time. You can see the Pumpkin Duke buff activate. Everybody gets a huge boost in speed, attack speed. Oh, PD's okay. And also attack damage. Boom. All right. Just like that. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank you for taking a look at Pumpkin Duke. I think that he is one of the most important heroes in the game. It is very difficult to say in a top 10 or a top 15. I don't think you can quantify Pumpkin Duke in that way. I think it's important to say that in terms of the mechanics and gameplay of Castle Clash and your progression as a player, he would be among the most important heroes. So think about him in a utility sense and think about how important he is to the progression of your account. I would start with PD because he is the key to unlocking dungeons. And unlock dungeons, you've unlocked hero upgrading. Thanks, everybody, and happy clashing. All right, bye-bye.